It is 5:30, and I'd like to call a meeting with the Board of Assessors for this Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. Call to order, being present, Denise Ellis, Director of Assessing, Mike Lassoni, Clerk, Member Lucas Ray, and myself, Chair Richard Dorney. Denise, would you like to start off?
Sure. We have the meeting minutes from February 18th.
Did everyone get a chance to review these?
Yeah, they're fine with go.
Okay, I did as well. Okay, so we're all in agreement that this format is good?
The what?
This format?
Meetings?
Yeah, okay. Excellent. And, okay, all right, next is,
Okay, we have vendor bills.
You make the best salad.
And on the vendor bills, we have fees for the Bristol County Association, KP Law. I have a conference to go to, and W. Mason.
okay. And this is the Bristol County Assessors Association?
Yes.
Is that an annual membership?
It's an annual membership for the three office people.
Okay, $70,000. And
20.
what do they have quarterly meetings, or is it just more shared data?
They just, they might have classes here or there, or they might have a meeting. There's no, they're like over your association whenever something comes up.
Yeah,
Probably twice a year, maybe.
okay. And KP Law, that was,
That's ATB cases.
yep. And Mass Association,
That's a conference next month.
Where's that at?
It's a spring conference. Is at Lake Pearl. King Philip. Yeah, over in Renton. It's not that.
is that just yourself?
Yeah. We're just gonna go over, there's a bunch of things coming up. So every year we have a spring conference, a summer conference, and a winter conference.
Okay, all right. Well, Michael.
Hey, Peter, that and this.
Yep, that's me.
Something better's coming up.
All right.
And this is a betterment payoff. So we're gonna pay that off.
Okay. And this has been all recorded.
Yeah. So that one's, they're paying that one off.
Okay, so there you go. This is for the sewer on West Main.
I believe so. Yep, West
Yeah.
Main.
Okay.
Did you put?
The monthly list here.
Yep.
I don't have the monthly monthly list. I think you guys might have to come by. I think,
Is it not out yet?
I think she forgot to print it. We'll get that printed for tomorrow.
All right.
Okay, so we need
I'll send you guys an email tomorrow. We can probably just
Do
do
you
it
need
next,
us to
we can
come in
probably
and
just do
sign
it.
it?
Oh, we can just do it to the next,
next
we
meeting.
can probably just do it for the next meeting.
Okay.
I think
just-
that'll be fine.
return plates and everything.
Yeah, that's all it is, all the abatements and everything, we can just wait on that one. Kelly was on vacation, she probably forgot to do it. Okay, so now we have, so these are omitted and revised bills. So one of them was, it was an exempt property that came out of exempt, so we have to send them a bill. So I calculated the amount, and they already have this, but you guys just, now we have to commit this, so it goes to the budget and all that. So that's one of them, the paperwork's on the back, it tells you what it is, the letter that I wrote. And then the other one is, actually that's Norton Rams, that's the one that, from the last meeting, we abated the commercial land because they had to combine everything. And then we had to put it onto another lot, so that was the letter we sent out for the bill for the new lot. So now we have to commit it. So these commitments will go to the tax collector.
So is it now one bill?
So on this one, yeah, so what it was, they were gonna put a development in, they had the street, then it got rescinded because it was too light, it was out there for too long, and then they changed the zoning.
Yeah.
So all those lots had to go back into one lot. So we put it on the other lot that we thought that they owned, that they wanted it on there, but they didn't, they wanted it on a different one, so we had to fix it all.
And this is all commercial property where they are?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, Old Colony,
Old Colony.
way down towards... So does that get captured
So this
this
is-
quarter?
Yeah, it's already in there, so it's already gone, yeah, so it's commercial. This has to go, I also have to put this on the gateway for the state, so that they know that it's there, and then once we start doing all the numbers, it'll be there for them. And so that's that one, and this one here was the exempt to the billable property. I think it used to be a home, and then they sold, like a
That's a
halfway house type of thing, maybe.
that's a residential
It's
neighborhood.
a residential
It's
neighborhood.
off Oak Street,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
I think,
It was a group home, it was a group home,
okay,
and they sold that, so, and they were exempt group homes, so now we're gonna build them. And then we build them by how many days that they have that property for in the year, what's left in the year.
So I converted from group home to a single family residence?
Yeah, so it was a single family, then it was a group home that goes into exempt, and then they no longer have the group home, they sold it, so now it comes back out of exempt into billable.
okay.
So then we have to figure out how much the bill would be for the rest of the year that they have it.
I think we'll be discussing later on the home next door as well. Number 8, I think was that
The what one?
on? Number 8, remember the last?
Oh, yeah, that's in here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. When was the purchase of that property, do you know?
Whoever that person is, that they bought it. Whoever I made the letter out to. I don't know off the top of my head.
The Matsons? No idea there was a group home there.
You never know this group. This group homes all over town, you wouldn't even know it. Yeah. We probably have, I can think of 4 or 5 off the top of my head. There's a brand new one over on Baker. It's a little tiny street, right over there. Brand new, beautiful home.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, one more thing. This one here is, this was a chapter land that you guys approved last meeting, and this is just the paperwork for it. Just to approve it. Tab for the file. And we'll send that out to the owner.
Okay. Vaguely remember that.
This one that just
So
didn't
this
have
is
all.
just the paperwork
Yeah.
from a follow-up. from
Right.
the follow-up.
Right. Oh, we could do these two too, I guess. These ones are denials from, these are just the letters that go out, the denials that you guys did at the last
right.
meeting.
At the last meeting?
Yep.
Okay. I remember this.
What's the addresses on those ones?
This one's 136 North Washington.
Residential?
Yeah, and 107 South Washington.
They're both residential.
Yep.
These are for the exemptions, these denials.
So this, I believe my memory serves, this was the one where the title was
In a
the
trust?
aunt, the mother.
Oh, right.
The mother and the daughter,
The trust?
yeah.
Yeah.
They never came back. Or did they? They never,
I don't think, no, I guess not.
Was there a letter sent to them explaining the reason for denial? That there was an issue with the trust and not the actual valuation?
Yeah, they will get all that. So that's just the main letter, and then she'll, I'm not sure what it says in there, but she'll definitely have that. Sometimes we'll send a second letter with that, explaining why. So I'll make sure she's doing that.
it's got field inspections in there and stuff.
Okay. All right.
We already did that land reclassification, right? Did we just do that?
So which one?
The notice of action for the land.
You guys signed that, yep. So everything's been signed that we have. So let's, now we have to go into executive session for, unless you guys have something else to talk about, exemptions and abatements.
Yeah, did you guys have anything?
So one thing I want to do is with the property cards, because I have a lot of people calling, reaching out to me, they don't know how to read a property card.
Yep.
The codes. So I didn't see anywhere on the Norton website where it shows what the codes are. So, for example, a garage, GAR, whatever the code is, there should be some sort of explanation to the residents. So when they read their property cards, they don't have to call the assessor's office and say, what is this code? You know what I mean? So there's probably 100 codes on a property card, and even I'm having trouble reading some of them. Like, what is that? I don't know what the code is. It should be somewhere on the assessor's website where you can see property card codes and what they mean, so that people can, read through that.
Yep.
And even the state website doesn't have, what the
The
codes are.
definitions.
Yeah, because you know what, the reason why the state doesn't, because every software company has similar but different codes. That's probably why they don't have it on the state website. Like Vision has certain codes, like instead of a USF, they use, I don't know, second story, I forget what they used, but it was like FHS or something. But it's different codes depending on the software that you use.
For the property itself, like the 130 versus 102, those.
Those are state, yeah,
okay.
that's all state regulated, but it's just the codes itself, like what we'll use for a second story.
Alright.
Like BAS, that's standard through everybody, but like
Okay.
the second story might be slightly different. So yeah, we can do that, I can put something together for that.
So that way those are,
The other question I got is on the commercial real estate, because I went in to look at these abatements, and I think I'm still gonna need more time. I went in there last, 2 weeks ago, and I was given maybe, 8 of them. And I know there's more than that, so.
Yeah, they weren't ready. That's why I didn't have any more.
So the commercial, I'd like to know how we're valuing commercial property. According to the state, there's 3 ways to value it. And I'm just wondering how Norton is valuing commercial real estate, because what I'm seeing in Norton is some of these newer properties that we're putting up, the sale price is, say, 35 million, and the valuation is 10 million less. There's condos, there's commercial properties, which are 10, 15 million dollars less than they sold for. And if you look at the state law, there's 3 ways to figure out how you value in commercial real estate. And I actually looked it up today. One's the income approach, the point of list, I think it's called. How much money they're taking in revenue for rents, and the other was a sales comparison, which is similar to what we do with residential. And then the third was the cost approach, like how much it would be to build that building. So I'm just wondering, when I look at all these commercial properties, why they're valued significantly less than what they sold for. You get a $72 million property that sold a couple of years ago. Why is it valued, $12 million less than they actually paid for it? So
There's a lot of different reasons for that. They look at all 3 approaches. Depending on what the property is, it's very complicated. So PK does all that. They're commercial appraisers, that's what they do. And they do look at all the different approaches. It depends on what it is. Like, for instance, apartment buildings you might see a big sale there, but they'll be valued lower because of a lot of times they'll purchase a property, but they'll say, well, we're going to make that money up going forward. That's a big thing with them. A lot of times it depends on what kind of a lease they have. Net lease, double net, triple net lease. So it all depends on how they're set up and how they're valuing them. So it's you just can't have a standard way of doing it because every property is completely different. I
understand that, but if you're looking at a commercial building that has 72 units that sold for $70 million for a figure, and that valuation is 10 or 20% less than the sale value, why aren't we using that same approach for a homeowner that buys a 2-family or a 3-family? That's and why aren't we saying, well, his rental income, if we're comparing, we're not giving a fish the same, we're not holding the same standard for the commercial properties as we are the residential.
So every commercial property, we have 2 forms that we send out every year. We have the forms of list. Those all go to income properties, like your multifamilies. They'll get the forms of list, as well as the commercial properties. But the commercial properties also give us income and expense forms that we require. Not everybody sends them in. Forms of list, we can't find anybody for not sending those in. The income and approach, we do find people for those. It all depends on the information they're giving us and what's out there. And like I said, commercial properties are so difficult because they're all different. You have a warehouse that assessed differently than, apartment buildings, obviously. So there's all those different things.
But if we were
So there's
using,
no
if we were
standard way
using a sales comparison approach, we could say the property sold for 30 million is worth 30 million. The sales, if we use that approach, which is one of the methods that you can use on commercial real estate. So I just, I have a problem when we have brand new factories going up. They pay $70 million for the factory, and that factory then is worth 60 million a year or 2 later. That doesn't happen with the residential. With the homeowners in the residential, we always go up. Why are the massive commercial real estates going down? So we're not knocking down farmland and putting up factories only to give them breaks, and I feel like we're giving some significant breaks on these properties. So
I haven't seen any commercial properties come down yet.
we can go over that.
There's one in here, yeah.
There's a few of them in there, and that's where I started seeing them, started looking into them, why they're so significantly valued less than what they paid for, and it's in the several millions. And when we're having a budget issue in this town and money issues, why are we giving these commercial people, these commercial buildings, such tax breaks?
It's more complicated than that. Commercial is a completely different animal than residential. And again, it depends on what their leases are, how they're set up. They do look at all three approaches to value. And it all depends like I said, it all depends what's going on. What's their income? You know, what's their vacancy rate? What's the cap rate that they're using? There's just so much involved in it. You can't just use the sales approach. You can't do that with commercial properties.
So you're saying that the commercial property, it's assessed really at the value, that it's present value. Would that be all right?
Say that
Meaning,
again?
well, if you have 40% vacancy in a 300,000 square foot building, the value of that is not gonna be the same as getting 100% vacant.
Exactly.
I agree with that, where, you could say, a plaza that was originally purchased for X amount, was full, and then 10 years later has now got a 40% vacancy, that valuation's going down, I can agree with that, but when you got an apartment building with 75 units and they're all packed and there's a 5-year waiting list to get in, and they're getting
Right.
top of the line rent, why are those properties going down $10 million, $15 million? Clearly they're hot, they're hot properties, everybody wants to get into them,
Well,
so.
probably one of the factors would be the condition, right? If you go over.
Yeah, we can go over that one when it comes time, and I
Like
can
you're saying,
explain that one to
Down
you.
the street, they sold that, what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago? The one, was it
East Main.
East Main? And that was quite a profit from the original.
Right, but there's issues with that we'll have to go over, and I'll explain it to you.
Okay, all right,
All right?
yep. All right, and anything else before we go
I
into
don't think so.
executive? Mike?
Good.
Okay, what I'd like to do is adjourn the open meeting and move into executive session. We will not be returning to an open meeting. So do I have a second to that? And all in favor?
All right, sounds good.